Hi.
I'm here with Merve Gaskin on the Road Pro stand. Is it Road Pro?
Road Pro.
Road Pro stand at the NEC for the Motorhome and Caravan Show 2019. The Merve. It's not just Merve anymore. It's
There's only one Merve. Right. If you're talking about solar panels, the best advice I can give, and I tell this to everybody, is fit as bigger an array as you possibly can or can afford, whichever comes first. You may have room to put 600 watts up there, but you might only be able to afford 300. Put 300 up there. Don't put 200 up, put 300 up, because you'll never regret putting too much up, but you will regret putting too little up, and that will always be the case. Now, when I started, I had 135 watt feeding 2 lead acid batteries. I've now got 300 watt feeding 1 lithium battery. So your solar array is really important. In fact, it's more important in a way than your battery that you're thinking about, because without being able to charge it, doesn't matter what battery you have, it'll be dead. So that's number one. So try and fit as much as you can. Think about the amount of power that you want coming back into that battery. And then when you come down the system, you need depending on what size array you've got, will depend on what size solar controller you will need. And if you're going lithium, if you're going to go lithium, that will need a lithium setting on it. It's not just an ordinary solar controller, it will need a lithium setting on it. Are we talking about a motorhome?
Motorhomes and caravans.
2 caravans, right. If it's a motorhome, is it on a is it on a Fiat chassis? Do you know?
No, it's a Fiat Ducato.
Right, well, you will not need a battery-to-battery charger on a Fiat Ducato.
I need a what, sir?
A battery-to-battery charger. There's something called a DC-to-DC charger. On a Fiat Ducato, you won't need that. But you will need the lithium controller coming from the solar. You will need, you'll need your solar, you'll need your controller, you'll need your lithium battery, and 1 or 2 other bits and pieces. If you want the whistles and bells like I do, when I got my caravan, I decided that I didn't want my microwave as a bread bin. I wanted to use it as a microwave. That's why I had the lithium battery. So I can now use my microwave, and I can use my toaster, and I can use the hairdryer or whatever, and that's all off grid. Because I've got my lithium battery to give me the power, but I've also got something that put the power back, i.e. the solar. Because I never attach the tow car to the caravan when I'm on site. I never need to. So with a caravan, you will need something called a DC to DC charger, a battery to battery charger. And what that does is that takes the DC voltage from the alternator of the car, and it makes sure that the battery is charged properly with that power. Because lithium batteries are all about being charged correctly. With the lead acid, it's a sloppy way. You can bang electricity in there, and you can't bang it in, but you have to trickle charge it in, and it'll charge up. With a lithium battery, they're made up of multiple cells, and the electronics literally equalise those cells all the time. They're charged at the same rate. All the cells are charged at the same rate. So it slowly comes up, and the battery management system is charging them, and you arrive at 100%, and then the solar controller or the battery to battery charger will cut the charge off. So the battery is not damaged, because if you carry on charging it, you damage it. So the electronics again are there to protect that battery. You can reduce the battery by 95% on a lithium. As you probably know that once you reach 50% on a lead acid, the battery's dead. On a lithium, you can go down to 95%, and when it gets to 95%, it'll cut off the battery management system, or the BMS, will cut the battery down, close it down so it can't be damaged. The lithium batteries run out at £1,200. but you've got a power pack there that's going to last you 25 years. If you look after that battery, you have 25 years, and out of the door will fly all your battery problems. You know, the days of flat batteries and all the rest of it. It isn't going to. As long as you've got that solar array, you're not going to have any problems. We do two types. We do the Italian type and we do the British type, and I'll show you those in a minute. Is there anything else you?
Yeah, but what if you said that's a £1,200 battery, right? My caravan's only £2,000, Merv. I'm not going to spend £1,200 on a lithium battery. So for me, with my little 130 amp hour battery,
Yeah.
what solar panel system am I looking at for the cheaper end?
Okay, so you don't need a lithium battery, of course you don't.
Yeah.
But if did you say you got a 130 watt amp power?
Yeah.
130 watt.
I just
solar
bought
panel?
it. No, I haven't got a solar panel. All I've got is the 130 amp hour battery.
A 130 amp hour battery. That's quite a big battery. That's bigger
I
than
know.
100 amp hour.
Yeah.
To keep that charged, all you need really is 100 watt.
Okay.
Or 150 watt, because you're not going to do anything exciting with it. You're not going to run high wattage stuff. You're just going to have lights, pumps, probably charge your phone up.
Yep, definitely.
A toothbrush. You're talking microamps on those.
It's mostly for charging gadgets and gizmos for myself and my son.
And a lead acid battery will do that.
Yeah.
As soon as you start thinking about putting inverters in and really pulling the amps, that's when you can't do it. You won't do it with a lead acid battery. So,
but for a very simple
as long as you're perfectly prepared to stay at that level, fine, absolutely fine. You don't need to worry about anything, big on batteries and all the rest of it. You can stay on that.
And then we're looking at the difference between a fixed solar panel on your roof or the difference with a portable, so like suitcase style. Well, they've both got their pros and cons.
I've always had them fitted to the roof.
Yeah.
I had 135 watt put on my roof when the caravan manufacturers were putting 40 watts on the roof and thinking they were doing you a favour. Merve was putting 140 watts on the roof. Now they're putting 100 watts on the roof, and I'm putting 300 watts on the roof. So they're always 5 years behind, and I've been to the caravan manufacturer. Start talking to that wall, you might forget it. But the roof-mounted panels are secure, very good security, because nobody's going to steal the panel off a roof.
Yeah.
You've got the security problem with the ones down on the floor, but of course, if you're on the right side. And you can trust your neighbours, and you normally can, to be honest. The caravan
you can in this country,
a good lot. They are a good lot. They will, if they're staying on site all day, they'll look after your panels and things. But the suitcase panels are an excellent way of just pulling extra power out of your van and setting it up, and you can link up, particularly to a lead acid. If you've got lithium, then you've got to have a lithium setting on your controller of the panel. Everything's got to be protected, but they're the two things. Roof-mounted panels, they're very safe, and I've always had them, and I've always found them excellent, but they don't pick up as much sun as one that you can move around and point to the sun all the time. But I never wanted to go outside my caravan every hour and move, I didn't want to do that. So I've got enough solar on my roof to pick up what I want. If I had 100, it would be struggling, but I've got 300, so it's picking up a load of light anyway. So, it's just how you want to, how you see it. That's what you got to think about. So, and all the other thing, of course, is if you've got a caravan, you've literally got to get yourself some step ladders. You've got to go up there with a tape measure. You've got to start measuring, because you're going to need to know the physical size of the panels you can buy. I measured up my Coachman, and I could have fitted a 310 watt panel, one panel on the side next to the central skylight. But because Coachman was supplying the van, they wouldn't deal with the company I wanted them to deal with, because they've got their own supplier. So when they built the van, they put their panels on. Rather than 100 watt, they put 150 watt on, and sent the other one to my dealer for them to fit, and that's what they did. And that's why I ended up with 300 watt, because they tried to tell me that 100 watt was the show offer, and I said, yeah, that's fine, but if you're an off-gridder, 100 watt is, particularly with a lithium battery, and the power I want to use, you know, it's got to be bigger than that. Anyway, cut a long story short, we got 300 watts in the end, and they supplied that free of charge. So, but you know, panels can be picked up now for less than £1 a watt. Go for monocrystalline, don't go for polycrystalline. If you can get frame panels, if you're going on the roof.
What's the difference, Merv? I've got no.
Polycrystalline is just less efficient.
Okay.
Monocrystalline is the more efficient. Monocrystalline is made from.
We're looking like absorption power for in layman's terms.
Well, they're made from pure, full flakes of silicon. Is the best way to put it. They're just better. They're just more efficient. Well, the polycrystalline are okay, but they're made of smaller flakes of crystal. Probably the ones that are slightly chipped or whatever. They'll still do the job. In fact, I've got polycrystalline on mine because I wasn't going to argue. I was getting them free, so I wasn't going to argue about it. But if I was doing it myself, I would have gone monocrystalline because they're slightly more efficient. And you know, why not have a more efficient panel if you can? It's not going to be massive, but you know, the advantage might just help one. You know, so yeah, go for monocrystalline. If I was on the top of the caravan, I would have a solid frame one, not a stick-on one, not a flexible one. Thanks, Tony. And they're easily mounted. They can be mounted on corner mounts, and they're proper big mounts that you just drop them into the rebates. And I've had panels on the top of my van for 6 years now, and I've never had a problem. Never had a problem with one coming loose or anything like that. So that's the best way to go about it. So that's what I would have. I'd have a proper framed panel like you would have on a house, or two, if you want to. If you can fit two up there, and you can afford to do so. And to be honest, it's less than £1 a watt. I mean, I was looking at a panel this morning, 200 watt, 179.99, and it's a good panel. You know, it's you can go on Amazon and you can find panels, good panels.
I've been looking.
Yeah, you don't need to. I mean, Road Pro do the Aero type, which is a shaped panel for the top of the caravan. It's sort of an aerodynamic thing, but I've always had them on mounts where the air flows underneath as well. Never had a problem. So that's what I would do. So, and if I would do it, then you've got to do it.
If you liked this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, and thanks, Merv.